Welcome to the Building Up Women in Property podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Bangura, and I'm thrilled to have you here with me today. This podcast is for ambitious women who work in property and construction who want to learn how to have a career they love on their terms. Join me every week where I'll leave you excited and confident to take your next steps. Thanks for being here with me. Now let's get started. Hello, great to have you here today. We are talking all things mentors today, and this is a really important conversation because so often we hear people talking about mentors, the importance of them, their role, and why we need one, but we never sort of dig deeper to find who is the right mentor, what is the benefit for me, is this the right time in my career to be investing that time and effort with a mentor? And today I want to talk about all those things because having a mentor, being a mentee, is one of the most powerful things you can do for your career. But in order to get the most out of the experience of being a mentee, I think you need to approach it from a strategic viewpoint. You need to be thinking about, why am I doing this? Who is the right person? What does this mean to my career, where I am right now, and my opportunities in the future? And go in making a really informed choice around who will support you on your career journey. So let's start at the beginning. What is a mentor? Now, a mentor is someone who has relevant experience that can support and guide you on your career journey. Now, they will share their insights from their own career. They will be there as a guide, as a sounding board for you, and they will also help broaden your awareness of what is possible and how your industry works and different opportunities that may exist for you. So they can really be a combination of a guide, a supporter, a motivator, a confidant, and all of these are really important functions, and having the right person in that role can really shape your future, and it can shape your thinking about what is possible and how to achieve your goals. But a mentor is not always the person you need to take that next step in your career. And I think it's important to distinguish that there are certain phases in your career where a mentor will have more value or will provide a specific function that will help you move further forward. So if we think about the early phase of our career, that sort of first 5 years or so, we are all focused on building technical expertise. This is where we are getting good at our job. We need to understand the nuances of things, how to do things well, how to respond in certain scenarios. But the focus is really on building our own expertise, our own skill set, so that we can do our job proficiently, so we can excel at what we do and be recognized as a high performer. That should always be the aim for those first 5 years of your career. And so having a mentor at that point in your career, it should be someone who has an aligned skill set. They should be someone who has walked a very similar path to you and can really help you to build and understand the skills you need in order to be great at your job. And it makes sense that at this point, your mentor may often take the role of a manager or a colleague or a peer who is a couple of steps at least in front of you and can give you that support and that guidance. But as we shift through that, once we move past that initial stage of our career, let's just assume we've all gotten really good at our jobs. We then start to look at, what is the next opportunity? What is that growth pathway for me? And this is when we start to look at, okay, promotion pathways forward. Do I want to become a subject matter expert in a specific area? Do I want to become a manager? What impact and opportunities is there for me to impact the industry I work in? And so we start to think bigger picture and longer term. And quite often at this point, we need to make some decisions around what that pathway forward looks like and how we might pursue it. So at this point, you actually want someone who has perhaps a broader depth of experience and perhaps even more industry knowledge to help inform your choices. Because the conversations are no longer about, how do I do this? It's about, what could this look like? And it's about possibility for your pathway ahead. And at this point, once we are sort of at that, say, 5 to 7 year mark, this is when you want to be making some core decisions in your career. You want to be going after promotions and new opportunities. And this point in your career is where you want to be getting the promotions that are beyond simply the next step up. So you want to be thinking about, what am I going to go into next? What do I want to be known for? What is the career pathway I want to pursue? And I think as women, we really need to capitalize on our skill set and the opportunity at this sort of midpoint in our career. really at that 5 to 10 or 12-year mark, there is a huge opportunity for you to step up time and time again. Within that sort of 5 or 7 year time span, you can be looking at 3 or 4 significant steps up in your career that will absolutely position you as a leader, that can have you at a position where you're in your early 30s in a really comfortable spot, not only financially, but professionally, where you have established your name, you have a strong brand, and you have cemented what you are good at in the industry. And this is particularly important for women because if you have any desire or interest in having a family at some point, for most women, this involves a career break. And it can be really hard to catch up after we have children. And I say this because the evidence proves it. And I know personally as a mom, life gets a lot more complicated when you have little ones to think about and you're not just focused on your career. So the earlier you can consolidate your experience, get those promotions, get those pay rises, that sets you up for longer term success so that when you come back, you are on par or even ahead of your male colleagues who perhaps haven't had that career break. Now, I wish there was another way for this, but I think this is the reality we live in. And I think if you are someone who is career orientated and driven by their work, the more you can do pre-kids, the better set up you are. And the better set up you are long term. So think about that. And so really think about what does that growth look like? Who are the people you can look to in the industry who have similar experience, similar interests, and can offer meaningful insight and advice and direction on what to do next, on how to get that next promotion, on how to create that next opportunity or explore an area you're passionate or interested about. And that requires being very conscious and deliberate about who that mentor is, finding that right fit. And the thing is, you can find mentors in so many places. And I always suggest start with your industry associations. Look at what mentoring programs they have. Now, typically they will partner you up with someone based on what you want from the relationship and what the mentor can bring to the relationship. And so when you are thinking about a mentor, be clear on what it is you want from that relationship. What guidance and support are you after? Because once you know that, it is much easier to find that right match. So take the time to get clear on that. What is that next move you are trying to make in your career? Where do you think you need support or guidance? Because the clearer you are as a mentee, the more your mentor is able to support you. And the easier it is to find the right alignment and the right match for the skill set or the experience that you need in order to progress further forward. Now, there are so many places that you can look for mentors. I always suggest start with your industry associations. Most of them will have a great mentoring program already in place, and they will literally marry you up based on what you are looking for and the experience and skill set of the mentors that they have available. And so that's a really easy one. And that's usually quite a structured and formal approach where you have regular catch-ups and you have some support and guidance on the role as a mentee and as a mentor. But don't be limited to that. You can also be looking for mentors in your organization, in your network, in your industry. And some of these mentors will be people that you can actually reach out to and create a formal mentor-mentee relationship. And that's great because you have that one-on-one guidance and support and in-depth insight. But don't be limited by that. You might also have mentors who you don't actually interact with at all. And by that, I mean industry leaders, people that you look up to or you aspire to be, who are creating the sort of results or have the sort of career that you want to have. So look out for those people. Start to follow them on LinkedIn. Start to look at the articles they publish and get involved and consume their content, read their books, watch their videos, and become an active mentee in the process. Know what you are there to get from that relationship and seek it out. And honestly, I think this is one of the most understated ways to get guidance in your career. It is so easy to find someone you look up to and find what their career journey has been. You can literally look at their LinkedIn profile. You can find articles and interviews where they have talked through their experiences and their challenges. And so often I see people not making that effort and taking that responsibility on themselves to actually go and seek this information out. And I think it's such a wasted opportunity because the truth is, being a mentor is a big commitment. And it's one that quite often people don't have time to fulfill. And that doesn't mean that people don't want to support you. It just means that they may not be in a position where they can make that commitment of time. So take it on yourself to seek the information out. And so by actually creating a long distance relationship with some of these people, you can actually create exposure and gain knowledge from people that you do not have direct access to. And that might be in terms of seniority and location, but you can glean so much information quite often that is publicly available. So don't be blocked off to that. Now, if you are looking to cultivate that one-on-one relationship, be clear on what the commitment is for the mentor. So as a mentor, and I've done both sides, I've been the mentee and the mentor countless times, and I will always tell you, you get the best results when you are explicit about what the ask is. So have an idea on what the structure is that you want to meet with them. How do you communicate best? Ask them how they communicate best, and go in with eyes wide open so that your mentor knows what they are committing to, and also they have the opportunity to say no if they're not able to support you in that way at this time. So go in and be clear on what you think would work, and be open to a conversation with them around what works for them. And it's completely okay to go in and make a request of someone. Everyone has agency to say no. So reach out to those people you want to cultivate a one-on-one relationship with, but also be mindful that if they say no, it's probably not a reflection on you. It's much more a reflection on them and their capability to support you at this point. Or they may not think that they are the right person to guide you on this journey. And ask some questions, right? If that's the case, ask them if they know anyone else that might be a good fit, or if they know of any programs. And remember that just because someone isn't your mentor, it doesn't mean you don't have a relationship with them. And I always think you want to make this a win for them as well. You want to show them how by supporting you and investing time in you, they are contributing. They are adding value to the industry, and people are much more likely to support someone who is switched on and is cluey and is organized than they are about someone who just randomly drops them an email and makes a request of them without any structure or real consideration or visibility on what they are trying to achieve from that relationship. So make sure you put your best foot forward when you are reaching out to mentors, and be really respectful of their time.
I hope you've been enjoying the episode. I wanted to take a moment to let you know about my free Career Confidence Masterclass. This is for ambitious career-orientated women who are ready to stop playing small and to confidently create a career you love. Head over to my website, beautifuldisruptions.com, for more info. Now let's get back to the episode.
Now, it's also important to really consider the qualities of a mentor. And I actually take this idea of mentorship one step further. I actually talk to my clients around having a professional advisory board, which consists of people who are there with specific roles to support your career and your progress. And I'll put a link in the show notes to a little cheat sheet on this concept. But if you think about it, you want people to support you that have different qualities and different experience. And that's why we often need to think about going beyond just having a mentor who's there as our confidant and our guider and our teacher. Quite often we need a range of people who can provide that broader guidance and experience to us. And I sort of think about these typically as 7 different roles. So we have the devil's advocate, who is always asking those hard questions and pushing you to think beyond the surface level. You then have that subject matter expert who has the expertise and the experience and knows the detail of your specific area or your industry. Then you have the sage. So who's that person with the wisdom and the insight who has actually been on this journey before and really understands the industry in depth? You also have the protege, right? That up and comer who has a completely unique and fresh perspective on things, and he's able to reframe things in a way that you perhaps can't. You have the supporter then, that person who will always have your back and advocates for you and almost believes in you more than you believe in yourself and can pump your tires when you need that, because sometimes we do. You also have risk takers, right? Who are the people who are willing to throw caution to the wind and go out on a limb and take those bold steps that create bold impact? And you also have the accountability partner who's going to keep you accountable and honest and on track for your goals. And they're the 7 roles that I think we all need in order to really create a remarkable career. I think we need people that have those different perspectives and those different qualities in order to make us really well-rounded leaders who are willing to take risks and are willing to do big things and help shape our industries. And you will find that some people will be able to do a number of these things. So you may have one mentor that is the sage, but is also a risk taker and also is great for accountability. So that might be one person who can fulfill that role. Or you might find that you actually have a number of different people who fill in these spots and support you in different ways. So think about it. Be strategic. Make sure you are getting the skills and experience and insight that you need in order to take those next steps in your career. And approach people with grace and openness. Share your goals. Share your personal vision. Get their buy-in into what you want to achieve and how they can support you to do that. So explain to them why you've sought them out. What is their experience or knowledge or insight or perspective that you really value? And then be clear on articulating what the request is. Let them know how you anticipate them being involved in your career. What is that frequency? How will you connect with them? What is that contact level? And be upfront. People really appreciate that openness and frankness. Now, you may also want to look beyond your employer and your existing network and actually pay for someone, an expert, to support and mentor you on your career progression. And I do this with lots of my clients. If it's something you are interested in, then please come over and reach out. But the point is be open to find the right expertise, the right guidance and support, and that combination of skills that you need to push you forward. And then always take action. There's no point having a mentor if you don't take action on the things that you discuss with them. So you want to be moving forward, and that action sits with you. So make sure before you engage a mentor, whether it's a paid, whether it's through your company, whether it's through a program or someone you reach out to directly, make sure you are in a position to really commit to the relationship and commit to the growth and commit to applying the information you gain through that relationship. Because people want you to win. People are rooting for you and they will invest their time. They will share their best knowledge with you if you are someone who will actually go out and apply it. So to wrap it up, I want you just to really think about where you are and what it is you need from a mentor right now. And then go out and find one and be conscious of the different roles that you are seeking. What is most important for you right now? Who do you need? So find the right people. Go in, be open and graceful, and look at creating lasting relationships that will support not only you, but also them longer term. Relationships are crucial in everyone's life, in everyone's career. So often it comes down to relationships, 9 times out of 10. So build strong relationships and be invested in that mentor-mentee relationship in order to get the results. Okay, my lovelies, I'm leaving you there. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining me on the Building Up Women in Property podcast. If you'd like to learn more about what I do, head over to Instagram. I'm at Beautiful Disruptions, and reach out if you want to connect. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.